Hello there, Smithsburg Middle. It's Mrs. McCallion from the library, here to talk to you about using databases that are offered to you from the county on our library portal page. So you can see on the screen that's where I am. I'm in the WCPS MD Follett Destiny site. And the easiest one that I'm going to use to show you some tips about databases is WorldBook. So you can see about midway down the page is the tab for WorldBook. I'm just going to go ahead and click that. Now, remember, if you're at school, it's going to take you right to the page. If you are at home, you are going to have to log in with the username and password, and those can be found in the library or from your teachers, or don't forget they're also in the Google Classroom that we have together for the library. So, and those are only needed if you have to access any of our databases at home. So because you are middle school, you can see here from the WorldBook page, we have some choices. We're going to go ahead and choose student. There is a kids option that is a little more set for elementary school. So we're going to stick to student for the best one for middle. So I'm going to go ahead and click there. And it takes us to WorldBook's main search sites. Now, if you go ahead and go right to the search bar, I'm going to type in Anne Frank. I know you've been studying Anne Frank and reading her diary in English class and learning a little bit about the World War II. So I just typed in her name and I'm going to hit the return button. And let's see what WorldBook has for us. So this is your search results, and WorldBook organizes them by relevancy. So the articles and findings that are going to be most relevant to your search are going to be at the top. So you can see we have an article about Anne Frank. We have an article about her diary. There is something else about Bergen-Belsen, which is one of the concentration camps that Anne was in for some time. And there's just a couple other choices here. You can see as we get more towards the bottom, they might not relate as much. So you kind of want to start off at the top. I'm going to go ahead and click on that first article. And we'll take a look at what WorldBook does and offers you. So we always have a really nice picture. And if you scroll down, you have an article. Now, this is a really short one, but they're not all going to be that short. So what I want to draw your attention to, though, is all of the links. So within the article are several places where you can click and you can read information about some of these other topics here in WorldBook. So that's one great thing for you there. If we go back up to the top, there are some tabs. Let's take a look at this second tab. It says images, videos, and audio. We can go ahead and click that. There's just a couple of other pictures there. Maybe you have seen them in your English class when you've been reading with your teacher. We can also click on related information. That's going to take us to some websites. So there is a link to the Anne Frank Museum in Amsterdam. If there are any magazine articles, which maybe there is here, you can click on that option as well. We're going to go back to the main article because there's a few other things that I want to show you. So once you look over your article, you can stay here at the top. And if you click on the little menu bar there, it's going to give you the Lexile, which is really important. That's your reading level. And I know that you're all familiar with that from some of the different testing you do in English class. So if you see that this Lexile is a little bit difficult for you, then you might want to go back out to your findings and try something different. But I would think for the most part, these are going to fit really well for middle school students. If you click on the settings wheel, there are lots of options. So you can choose to save this article. You can share it if you have email access at home. You can choose to print it. You can translate it to another language if you want to. A very cool feature here is text to speech. If you have headphones or if you're in an area where it's okay that you're a little loud, you can click on this and the article will be read to you, which is a really nice feature. All right, let's go back to our search results. If you would click on any of these other articles, you would get the same kind of appearance. We're going to go ahead and go all the way back to the main search page. It is not. I just very quickly want to show you some other cool features from Worldbook. There is an option to take a look at maps and atlases, so that might come in handy with social studies. If you're not really sure what you want to research or look for, if you're maybe still thinking about some research topics, you can browse by subject. I'll show you what that looks like quickly. So it just gives you some main categories. If your teacher gives you a lot of freedom in what you're going to research, that might be an interesting option for you. And if you scroll down a little bit, you can see one really nice feature from Worldbook is that it does give you some articles about current events. And the last thing I want to show you is the Biography Center. So there are a couple of collections. So if you're looking for a type of person to research, and there's also a place to find some videos, which might be helpful in the research that you're doing. So don't forget, if you have any questions, you can always come to the library and ask me, and I will be very happy to help. Thanks.